Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the latest episode of Preacher, He Gone. So, this was another really good episode, and it really kind of showcases what can really go on in this show. Because one of the interesting things is anything really can happen. And I'll talk about that kind of more as we get kind of towards the end of the episode, but this is a world where you could tune in one time and you see a world where people are blowing up, and then the next episode they talk about how Tom Cruise spontaneously exploded, kind of linking that back, but you're just like, what the hell? It's a really interesting show that has such interesting ties to like funny and serious moments and kind of like mixing them together and also kind of like showing the like craziness that's going on. So, this episode kind of deals with the fallout that we got from last episode with Eugene pretty much disappearing. Now, of course, Jesse's kind of like looking and kind of seeing what happened. And then he's like, he's with Genesis now and kind of the power that he's been exploring, it's kind of really gone to his head. And we see that really a lot in this episode. Because he then goes out to kind of let everybody in. And Cassidy, we then see it pans up and he saw the whole thing. He was standing up there. He knows what happened. So everybody's like coming for the service. We see pretty much all the regulars in the church itself, and then we see a lot of people outside with the kind of the megaphone that he put outside to reach to people. And he does the sermon, and all it is to serve God. And I was like, okay, didn't think he would. I thought he'd do more than that. And everybody's like, oh, cool, and then leading in all these kind of prayers and all that. And we get this kind of cool flashback. It's spurs throughout the episode, but it's pretty cool. It's talking about, like, Jesse and Tulip as they're younger and in school. And, of course, his father's called down. They were fighting and everything, and they were really just kind of protecting each other. Tulip was getting bullied. Jesse was going to stand for that. But it still got out of hand because the principal's talking about how one of their kids got their nipple bit off by Tulip. And it's just good character building to show how volatile she is in those kind of regards to those kind of actions. You screw with her, she'll pretty much take it up a notch depending upon what you've done. Like, if you're screwing with her, she will go one up, but if you like killed someone, she will try and beat you to death. It's really cool to kind of like build that up and build up that backstory because they take Tulip home and it's really cool because Jesse's happy with it, Tulip's happy, but their father really tries to find other ways and pretty much sends her off to protective services, and Jesse's pissed off. He's like, why'd you do that? He's like, she's an O'Hare, she's gonna be trouble, and that of course gets a call back later on in the episode. So Jesse's pissed off and he prays for God to kill his father and send him to hell, which then leads to the final kind of flashback part of showing that somebody came in and pretty much beat his father. Jesse was hiding under the bed. They take him outside, and then we get to see the scene where it's like, promise me, Jesse, that you'll be good because there's so many bad guys. And then they kill him. It zoomed in on the tattoo. Since of how strange this show is with structure, I don't know what the significance is at the moment if we've seen it before, but I'm thinking that these people were probably with the Odin Kincannon's kind of company, Meat and Power, trying to get them to sell the land or something. That's just my thought of it at the moment, but they weren't in those kind of uniforms or anything kind of affiliated with them, so we don't know exactly who killed Jesse's father, but that's going to be really important probably going forward. So, going through in the present day, we kind of get more kind of information with what's going on with Jesse, kind of how he's trying to help people. And of course, Cassie brings up to him that, dude, you sent him to hell. What are we going to do? You doing okay, man? Because I really like Cassie's character, because you would think that a vampire would be kind of an asshole, but he's not a big asshole. He's just trying to be helpful with who he thinks of as his best mate and try and help him with stuff. He doesn't really kill people unless they pretty much try to attack his friends or try and kill him. And except for like his drug problems and pretty much going for prostitutes, he seems really okay. I mean, other than he is pretty lazy and doesn't really like to do much stuff, kind of also factors in the point that he can't really do much in daylight. So overall, he's a really cool character that I'm really starting to like. And what he's trying to talk to Jesse, like, listen, we can fix this. We just got to figure out how to fix it. He's like, I've got other stuff to do. So he's going in, kind of leading Bible studies and everything, and seeing people doing reenactments of like Lot's wife and all that. And he's, of course, acting more of an asshole. He's like, you people should be terrified of God's wrath and all that. Otherwise, it doesn't mean shit. And I was like, there's a kid right there. And here's a preacher in church, in Sunday going like that. It's like, wow. It's just really cool to see that kind of stuff with all these kind of characters of he's the preacher, but he still acts like he's got the bad guy images and everything, and he's trying, but that's still a part of who he is. And I really like that kind of play that they're doing within the show. So, as they're going on with that, they're kind of getting together. Tulip has come in, gets dinner ready and everything, and I really like this scene because it really showed kind of everybody's characters, where they are, kind of where they've been, and where they are right now. So, Cassidy's doing his stuff, and I liked it because he squirted so much ketchup on his burger, on his hash browns and everything, talking about the Coen brothers. It's like, when he's talking about that kind of stuff, and the way he's eating this food and everything, it was interesting because I'm like, I like ketchup that much myself. I'm like, I could hang out with this guy, I could talk about all these kinds of things, bringing up all of his problems with the Coen brothers movie of the Big Lebowski, but how he still likes these other movies. And Emily's like, oh, these are good. Did you put vanilla in the hash browns? Yeah. Oh, very subtle. You wouldn't want to be overpowering. I'm like, she's trying. I mean, yeah, she does weird shit, overreacts and all that, but she's trying with this. This was a nice thing to do. And then, of course, that leads to the fire in the oven because vanilla's flammable. I'm like, you do know that, right? It's like, yeah, now? It was just like, that was a big fire, too. So Eugene's father comes in asking what's been going on and everything, and where's Eugene? And Jesse, of course, tried to make up a story, but Emily's like, no, you saw him, and then she kind of like covered his butt. And then then Jesse and Cassie kind of go talk outside, and we get more backstory about Eugene and Tracy. Look, the woman who Jesse had made her eyes open, and she was evidently a very popular person in school, and of course Eugene liked her, and he had confessed his love, she rejected him, and he pretty much tried to kill her and kill himself. And of course that didn't work out either way, except that she was in a coma, missing a lot of her head, so that we got concrete answers for. Because Cassie was asking, like, listen, you just sent an innocent kid to hell. It's like, he's not that innocent. But see, that's showing that Jesse would be quicker to judge and screw the consequences. It's like, but he could still become better. He could still try and do better things to try and atone for it. That's the whole point of free will versus commanding someone to do something. Choosing to do something good because it is good is more powerful than being forced to choose something that's good. And I really kind of liked that, of course, you got the preacher on one side being like, he wasn't that innocent. Cassie's like, that doesn't matter. He didn't deserve that. And then he's like, well, then I deserve this? And then he takes off his shirt and everything, walks out, and you see him flame on. And it was just like, oh, shit. And they did a really good job with those effects. I'm like, oh, God. And afterwards, we don't know what exactly completely went on. I'm pretty sure Jesse put him out, but it's kind of left open because he comes back in, eating his stuff, and Tulip's pissed off at him because he's like, I don't know what's going on with them, and she walks out, and he's like, well, I believed in you. Help me understand what's going on and all that. And he's like, well, that's stupid that you believed in me. It's like, stop being an asshole. Then we get a big kicker, and that Odin Kincannon comes by and talks to Jesse, and he's like, well, here's the deed and everything. Sign it over. He's like, well, why? You left the Christian. He's like, no, I didn't. So we're starting to learn that Jesse's powers have certain limitations because he told him to serve God, but that's a kind of broad thing to say. We don't know how he's going to be doing that because he's still doing horrendous things. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get in this land. You made a bet. And at first he'd come in and talk about how he finished the diorama and all that stuff of the Alamo. And he's like, well, we won't surrender. Victory or death. And that's going to lead to big problems between Jesse and Odin. Because at the end of the episode it showed Odin with all of his people pretty much under the teeth. The right-hand man dude dressed up in a Confederate outfit. Which was just like straight up like, what the hell? This is a meat and power place, like getting ready to take on Jesse and the church and everything. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be really bad. And then we also saw Jesse digging into the floor, trying to get Eugene back and shouting with his Genesis-empowered commands to come back. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to get Eugene back if they are, and what's going to happen with Cassidy, and what's going to happen with Odin and the church and everything, because it's going to be big. There's going to be fighting. It's not going to be pretty, and I actually don't know what's really going to happen. It's pretty exciting to see where this can go, because it can go anywhere. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.